Welcome to Is This for Kids? I'm Jonathan Beard of Blevins. I am a dad of 3, and I think that most media that is marketed towards children is poison.
And I'm Katie, MrsRuvi. I am a mom of 5, and I think you can redeem most of the media marketed to children, but the point of this podcast is to let parents know what's in a piece of media content that they might want to shield their kids from, what kind of concepts are going to come up that they really can't avoid in the world today that they want to shepherd their kid through, and how they can use media to share in their kids' lives because it's incredibly influential. And today, what are we talking about?
Today we're talking about the legendary M. Night Shyamalan's Trap.
Trap.
With Josh Hartnett.
Yeah.
M. Night Shyamalan's own daughter.
Yes.
Who is like the next Taylor Swift, is what I'm told.
A lot of this, you could make a strong argument that this movie was made just to promote the music career of M. Night Shyamalan's daughter, which is fine.
To her credit, the music throughout the movie was catchy. She has this good singing voice and is clearly good at piano.
And she was a good actress.
And she did a great job acting, I think. And also, allegedly, I read somewhere that she wrote all 14 songs originally, yeah, which is very impressive.
Yeah. So Salika, I think you say her name. Shyamalan. But for this movie, they called her Night
This
Shyamalan.
is the kind of nepotism that I'm here for.
Right.
Okay. If you have a little bit of power in the world and you can help out someone you love who's clearly talented, go do it. LeBron James, looking at you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So proud of you. So
Trap there is a middle-aged dad with his daughter driving to see her favorite artist. She's singing in the car. She's very pumped up. Honestly, I think this movie is based off of the Taylor Swift trend.
1,000,000%.
That is happening. Like, this is what's going on in the world today. All these girls are so excited to see, what's her name?
Lady Raven.
Lady Raven at this concert.
My daughter's literally sitting in the thing next to me like, it's just like the 22 hat. It's just, she was a whole thing.
Yeah, it's that for sure. Mm-hmm. They go to this concert. He's a kind enough dad who seems to love his daughter very much. As the movie's going on, they get to their seat. He starts to notice that there's cops everywhere. And obviously, I just love the way M. Night Shyamalan does this kind of thing. Clearly, the cops are there for a reason, and him noticing that they're there is happening for a reason. You're like, what's going on? Turns out that they are hunting a serial killer known as the Butcher. You very early on realize that this guy is likely the Butcher, although because it's an M. Night Shyamalan movie, the whole movie you're just kind of like, where's the twist? He's not. There's no way that this amazing dad is a bad guy. There's just no way. So I'm like texting you throughout the movie, and I'm like, this isn't him. And you're like, oh, no, it is. And I was like,
no, that's
come
not even up for debate.
And you're basically the entire movie is the whole entire concert is a trap to catch the Butcher, and he tries to escape and continue to be a great dad with his daughter.
Yeah, it is essential that he leave with his daughter to him. So Cooper is
because he loves her.
Yeah, Cooper's the bad guy. Riley's the daughter. Lady Raven is the lady. Great summary. Love where your head's at.
Hey, I did a good job. I don't normally summarize.
In case you were thinking to yourself, like, this could get tedious watching him try to get out of a concert hall for that long, that's only probably the first half of the movie, and the second half is the rest of it. They get out of the concert hall. So what do parents need to shield their kids from in this movie? And you might be surprised by this.
Not much.
Not much.
I mean, if your kid is easily scared or easily creeped out, maybe just don't let them watch until they're kind of out of that stage, but not much. There's one scene in the movie that I can even think of. There's like a little bit of language, but not a lot. There's one scene where like he purposely puts grease, extra grease into a greasing and turns it up, and that grease like splashes onto someone and they get very, very burned. Mm-hmm. And that is probably the worst part of the movie. That's probably like the most offensive part of the movie. And he's a serial killer. Yeah. So like, that's pretty impressive.
I wrote the same thing. I'm always very excited when we do this. So there's one F word because it's PG-13 and it feels like they have to use their one F word, but there's minimal swearing the entire way through. It is a man in direct contact with his daughter. So the amount of swearing you would expect a man to do in front of his daughter is how much you should expect in this movie. There's the one F word at the end when the daughter's not present. But shockingly, for a movie about a serial killer, not a drop of blood. Yep. None blood whatsoever. There is no gun violence, no stabbing, no drinking, no drugs. There's a guy, and like you see a guy chained up in the basement, but the guy's not bloody. He doesn't appear to have been beaten. Yep. He seems, other than the fact that he's chained up in a basement, he seems
and they barely
fine.
show him.
Yeah, he's like, as far as movies for serial killers, like a thriller movie is concerned, this is where you would want to start with your kid. Like if you have an interest in thriller movies or mysteries or those kinds of things, this is a great place to start. Nothing in here is
I'm pretty shocked that I agree with you.
Yeah, it's surprisingly mild. Okay, so if you don't want your kid to know about murder, you're going to want to shield them from that.
Let's put it this way, though, just like for context for parents who probably have seen, it really is no worse than, in fact, it might be actually more appropriate than many Law and Order or CSI episodes.
Oh, by far.
I mean, yeah, which is crazy to say.
way less traumatizing than your average Law and Order.
Yep.
Cool. So Shepherd, what are some concepts you want to put what are some things out there that your kid's gonna encounter that you might want to talk about?
Great question. And I actually didn't write this down, but I have a great answer for you.
Go.
I think that that it can be a good movie to have a conversation with your kid about social media, virality, and influencers, and how we let that impact our life. And even just like the perception of being cool. So there's throughout the movie, it's kind of weird that this is in there, but it made sense. Like it was fine. It was handled well. His daughter, the main character's daughter, is struggling with losing some of her friends. It's very clear that they are kind of this group and she's not in that group anymore. Something happened. And the dad, he runs into one of his daughter's friends' moms.
Yep.
And they have a couple conversations about this and about how she's feeling excluded. And then all of a sudden she ends up on stage. His daughter ends up on stage, and like it cuts to the friends, and the friends are all like, so they're furious and clearly jealous. And I'm sure the relationship will change now that her dad's a serial killer, probably not. But like if that movie would have just been a normal movie and it was about the concert, those kids would have likely been wanted to hang out with her and like, hey, you're cool. Oh my gosh, you got to go on stage with her. Like, let's be friends. And it just is a good conversation about like what really good friends are and how being cool online does not make you a better person or a better friend. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think I like that kind of angle of talking to your kid during this movie.
OMG, who cares? Oh, women. I can't imagine how horrible your lives are. Get a hobby. Get a life. You're a white woman. You have no say.
I'm a grown woman. These comments on Instagram do not bother me, but your kids shouldn't have to deal with this. That's where Bark comes in. Silence that noise. Bark can help you to cut off the apps, the scary language, and it'll let you know if any bullying like this is happening to your kid online. Get the Bark phone or the Bark app. You'll like it. Yeah, a lot of it that she's talking about is that like she sees her friends hanging out without her on social media. And we've talked a lot about that. There's a book out there called Anxiety Generation by Jonathan Haidt that I absolutely recommend that every parent read. But he talks a lot about having embodied in-person synchronous experiences, preferably outside. And she's having these experiences where her friends are seemingly doing that and posting it online. And whether they're having this great time or not, her perception is that they're doing this thing that builds friendship, being in person, being together, and they're excluding her from it. So like the way that social media plays in there was really huge. But I also liked that there was a good example of using social media as well with Lady Raven at the end.
Yep.
I don't want to spoil it for you, but like, you know how the internet can find out anything? Pretty cool. It's a little bit.
It is cool.
Yeah. So, but this one actually just feels like a great share movie for me. Like there's not a lot of teaching moments through it, but it is something that you can really bond with your kid over. We talked to this a little bit about this with Twisters, that was just such a fun movie that parents and kids could enjoy together, where it wasn't a kid's movie with some inappropriate jokes thrown in for the parents or a completely inappropriate movie that we're going to make our kids sit through. It, I think, appeals to most people. I took my 11-year-old to this and she thought it was fantastic. She had a great time.
Yeah.
She wasn't scared. She was appropriately scared because it's a little bit scary, but she was like, that was so fun. That was a great show.
Yeah. There's parents out there. This is, as you know, I think you've shared some interesting experiences when you were a kid in movies that you were dragged to by your dad. Like I still to this day don't understand people who are obsessed with horror films, but I get it. There are people that are, and that's fine. It's just not my thing. But I know for a fact there's parents out there who are and who kind of want to share in that with their kids. But when do you do that? I don't know. This would be a perfect movie to start with. So like, I'm not into scary movies. I do like thrillers. My kids are, again, my oldest is 9. Is he 10? No, he's 9. He's 9. He's turning 10. He's turning 10.
Oh my kid.
Like when he's ready to see a scary movie, quote unquote, this is this and Twisters both. Like there's a little bit of scariness in each one. Yeah. And it's kind of the perfect intro to thriller in my mind. If you think your kid's ready for a thriller, this is the one I would share with them.
Yeah, absolutely. And honestly, not even as an intro. Like I thought it was good as an adult, a person who, I don't like horror movies. I wouldn't even call this a horror movie, but I do love thrillers. I think that it's fun to like true crime I'm into. I think those kinds of things are all super, super fun. And the problem is that you can't often watch them around your kids because you don't know what they're going to put up on the screen. Like, are we about to see a half decomposed body? Because I think we've talked about before, I'm afraid of Paul McCartney for that reason. I know you're not dead, Sir Paul. Only a little bit. I kind of know that. He's probably dead. Anyway.
Tupac's not, but it's okay.
But I do think that this is like a great way. It's a great family movie night movie. You can put it up on the big screen. And that's really one of the things that we want to focus on is getting kids off of those tiny screens screens, those single serve, individual portion movies, and instead make it a shared experience with your family where you guys can make reference to this movie. You can talk about it. You can, tell your mom how this Lady Raven concert is exactly like Taylor Swift. And Mom, can we please go to Taylor Swift? And no, honey, we don't have $7,000.
Yeah. You can just fake that you have cancer.
Taylor, I have cancer.
Never do that, by the way.
Don't do that.
But it does happen in the movie.
That was a joke.
What age would you say?
Maybe don't. It's funny. I don't know.
What age would you say this is appropriate for children?
Yeah, I would say that if your kid does not scare easily and you're not offended by the one F word, and I'm not, you could earmuffs it, I guess, if you wanted to. But I would say that you'd be okay to bring a kid 9 and up.
Okay. I'm going to go with, how old are you in 6th grade? 11. Like 11? Mm-hmm. I'm going to go 11. Yeah. Like 11, 12. If you're like, I mean, it's really not bad at all.
Yeah.
Also, real quick.
Yeah.
Did you stay for the extra scene after?
No, I didn't know there was one.
It wasn't that long after. So are you sure you didn't?
Where he's in the paddy wagon?
No, he's in the back
of the police car.
No. What? Oh my gosh.
What?
Okay, so the best character in the movie, I think we'll both agree, the best character in the movie, and it is not close, is the guy at the merch table.
Yeah, 100%. Oh yes, I did see that.
You saw that? Okay, that was so
I'm
good.
Helping anybody again.
Stay for the end.
Yeah,
that was
okay.
so
it really wasn't
funny.
that far after. It wasn't.
No, it was like a minute.
Yeah.
Oh, it was so funny.
Yeah, I did see that. That was funny.
I was wondering if he was ever going to find out, and then I was like walking out, and then it popped up. I was like, yes,
go back.
Yeah, watch till the very end.
It was fantastic. Well, hey, I'm really excited that we were able to find a good family movie night movie for everybody. But if people liked this and they wanted to find other movies that we like, where could they go to check it out?
Isthisforkids.com has everything that you need everywhere that we are. We're excited to interact with you on all of the different platforms that we're on.
Yeah, definitely. Check it out over on Instagram. I've been giving you Cliff's Notes every week that you can just scroll through while you're waiting for these episodes to come out or when you need time, just so you can quick say, like, is this appropriate? We've got all of those notes on there for you. Check out our Instagram. Give us a follow. There's just so much content out there for us to navigate as parents.
I'm Jonathan Beard of Blevins.
I'm Katie, MrsRuvi. Let us help you decide.
Is this for kids?